What's going on, my friends? It's Dave Sharpe. Welcome to Wake Up Legendary, my friends. Happy Friday. Happy February 2nd, 2024. What a beautiful day in the neighborhood, and especially here at Legendary Marketer, as we have an amazing guest that I'm so excited for you to meet and hear and listen and learn from. Rachelle is from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. This is her second time on the show. She is really, really crushing it and doing a wonderful job at it. She is going to be attending and actually speaking at our upcoming mastermind. And I just couldn't be more excited for her and her success and to listen to her story once again. So with that being said, Rachelle, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I am so excited for the mastermind. You have no idea. Like when I got that email, I was like, oh my gosh. You never put yourself you see Carolyn and Chelsea and all those rock stars. You're like, wait, you just asked me to speak. Like it was just, I appreciate that because it definitely was awesome. It's an awesome opportunity. Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. You earned it. Nice confidence boost, right?
Yeah, for sure.
That's kind of like getting chosen for the All-Star game.
I know. I'm so excited.
Yeah. Well, great. I am so excited for you, and I'm so, looking forward to talking to you even today and having everybody hear your story. You're a returning guest here on Wake Up Legendary. When were you on the show last?
They just looked. It was April.
April of 2023.
Yes.
Okay, so nearly a year, about 10 months or so. And so, wow, a lot has happened. What was it like? And what would you say the difference is? Let's start there between when you were on back April of last year and now being back on today.
For me, the business kind of started quickly. I had a video go like crazy at one point in time, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm getting 20,000 followers a day on Facebook. So in the beginning, it did go pretty quick for me. But then challenges start along the way. My Facebook gets hacked in the process of getting 20,000 followers a day. I ended up having to pay a ridiculous amount of money to some random person to get it back. So like the challenges, the crying, like everybody thinks that it's just like, oh look, they're making multiple six figures. No. Like the challenges are definitely like, life happens and you still got to show up. Like I'm learning that right now. Like some things are going on in my life and I'm like, you can't just lay in bed. Like you got to show up. And I think that's one thing that I have definitely learned through this process. Like if you want to be the rock star, you got to show up. It doesn't matter if you're on vacation, you buy the internet. Like you buy the internet on a cruise ship. Like that's just sorry about your luck. If you want to make millions, you gotta put in the work. And that's, so when I see a lot of people say, oh, like an hour a day, I'm like, an hour a day, where do they work? So I mean, it is possible if you batch. I'm a little bit of a squirrel where I'm like all over the place and I go live too. So that does take some time. But that is one thing that this year I'm really pushing. Caroline's interview the other day was amazing. And when she said, I give 100%, I give 100%, I was like, man, like, have I ever given 100% to anything? And I think about it and I'm like, I don't think I've ever given 100%. So for her to say that and see her success, I'm like, can you imagine? I feel like you gave 80% last year. Can you imagine if you give 100% this year? Like, where are you going to be in the next year? So that was a big, a reality check because she's right. Like, look at her success. Look how, and people think that, but me, I'm like, I probably only gave like 80%. Like, I did slack here and there. I don't have my schedule planned all the time, so that's one goal that I have in store for this year moving forward. Like next week, the vacation's over, the planning starts, like your videos are going to be ready. That's one thing I have definitely learned through this process.
Nice. Yeah. No, there's always another level. There's always
Mhm.
another level of commitment and dedication. And one of the questions that I ask people a lot is, and I love to do it at the mastermind, is would you pay yourself to work inside of your business a
Mhm.
fair, significant wage, something that would make you motivated? Would you pay that to
Mhm.
somebody who was, no, Adelita, no, Caroline didn't scam you with crypto. No, she didn't. Somebody posed as somebody was posing as Caroline, and you responded to that, and they were most likely making some promises of something that was very unrealistic, and that was something that was enticing to you, and you made the decision to send that money. And so let's be real careful with people's reputations here. We're all already under attack from actual scammers all over the internet who are posing as us, people of influence, and everybody needs to look out, and everybody needs to be careful, and everybody needs to be an adult and do your own due diligence. And because we didn't, not a single one of us fell off a turnip truck. We didn't just fumble into the legendary marketer community and all of a sudden, oh wow, I was born yesterday. No. And most of us who are sending money are wanting to get rich really fast with doing really little work. And that's how they get us to send money, right? So let's be real careful of people's names and real careful of coming on our lives and saying that somebody from our community scammed you with crypto, because every single one of our accounts, including Caroline's, has a big banner right on the very first post that says, I don't send DMs and I don't do crypto and all of that. So lesson learned, but let's all remember that we're adults and that it's already crazy enough out here on the internet, and we need to look out for ourselves. We need to look out for each other. And we also need to, the same way that you were so trigger happy to, make that comment here, shows a lack of, ability, restraint there. And was probably also why you so willingly sent money to somebody who was making some ridiculous promises to you. So let's be careful. Let's be respectful of everybody's name, their hard work, their reputation, and let's do a better job at trying to protect ourselves and do our due diligence and really cross-reference and take responsibility for our actions. With that being said, Rachelle,
Hey Dave, this
crazy
morning,
out here.
this morning, your girl couldn't even find my Facebook because there's so many fake profiles. So I mean, I had to send her my Facebook link, and I have 303,000 followers on Facebook, and it wasn't even popping up because there's so many people out there with my face saying they're Run on Magic Mom. So to back your point, like like it happened this morning. Your employee, or your girl couldn't even find my name because there was
Yeah, I know.
so many fake accounts.
I know. It's really, it's this is entrepreneurship. This is the wild, wild west out here.
Correct.
We have to be careful. And one of the things that I like, let's see here, if you no, they're getting tricky. They're really getting
Yes.
tricky, because I saw somebody who was posing as our legendary marketer account, and we have something like 150,000 followers, and it says that right on your profile, just like your profile says you have 302,000 followers. Well, they typed it in the bio, 150,000 followers. So it was very difficult for somebody who's
I have
looking
that.
at, right? Because so we all
Somebody
need,
said they got more than you. I'm like, what?
yeah. I mean, the thing about legendary, first and foremost, is that we're very careful about charging money. Somebody comes to our challenge, they buy our challenge, and if they want to upgrade as they're going through our challenge to our blueprints, we don't even ask for their credit card information over the phone, because we'll just use your card on file. And if you want to do a different card, you log into our website, you type those credit card details in, and then we charge that card. Folks, you got to be careful out here. And I think one of the biggest things that, it's always the case, is that somebody's making you some ridiculous claim, and somebody's making you some ridiculous promise that really is too good to be true. And you just send the money willy-nilly because you really want something spectacular to happen. And that's how they get you. That's why we are all, and Rachelle, I love your intro. This stuff, all success takes work. It takes an incredible amount of work. The majority of the people that buy any how-to information or start any business online make no money, have no success. And it's because of this mindset. Exactly what we're talking about right now is that, people want something for nothing. And that's where these scammers and these predators are so dangerous, because they, as soon as you, unfortunately, with our Facebook group, people just go there and start friending and messaging people. They go to people's Instagram followers, their Facebook pages. They just start messaging people, and they just begin to make unbelievable claims, ridiculous promises. And we have to realize that if we want something, it's going to be hard work. We're going to have to work for it. It's better to take the road less traveled. That's what entrepreneurship and having your own business is about. And it is going to be hard getting there, but it's going to be worth it, because you're going to get to keep it, because it's going to be real instead of some BS fantasy. And so let's go back. What is your timeline, Rachelle? Last time when we had you on in April of 2023, had you been doing it for long? When did you start, and how did you even get started in this whole process in the first place?
So I posted my first video on January 25th of 2023. It was my first time I posted my video. So let me give you a little background. I come from the world of network marketing. That being said, I didn't know what network marketing was. I literally had a baby. I have my accounting degree. I have my MBA. I had a baby. I went to work for my parents because I was in the car industry, loved it. But like the hours, you didn't know, like if they're closing a deal, well, like that's me. So like, if they're still working it at 9 o'clock at night, like I'm the person that deals with the bank and does all the paperwork. So like, you just never knew your schedule. So when I had a baby, like we had decided, like, I'm just going to go work for my parents. They had a Dairy Queen. By the way, guys, I grew up on a dairy farm. So don't think of anything special. I grew up on a dairy farm milking cows. Like I live in the middle of the woods. Okay. So I always like people to know that, like, just so you're aware,
Your
like,
parents owned a Dairy Queen.
and then, yes, they sold the cows and bought 2 Dairy Queens. Yes. Like, I can't even make this up. Yes. Yes.
I love it.
So one step to the next. I mean, whatever, right? So when I had the baby, I started working for them. It's supposed to be part-time. You know how this is. Have you ever worked for your parents? Anyone on here work for their parents? Yeah. Part-time ends up being every call off, everything. Now everything's like your problem. I'm like, oh my gosh, you pay me like pennies. Like, is anybody, but that's that mentality of a farmer's kid. You go to college, you're going to get off this farm, you're going to make money. Like there's no money in farming, but you're going to work hard. And that was like, that's probably kind of why I'm where I am today. Like that's their mentality. So I was there, and about 4 years ago, someone on Facebook that I kind of sort of knew was drinking like a cup of coffee and was like a before and after picture. And I was like, like anybody you ever did a yo-yo diet? Like that was me. I'm like, coffee, she looks good. So I like messenger, the normal. And I started drinking this coffee, and I was like telling everyone, I'm like, wow, this is great, And someone approached me and was like, why don't you sell it? And I'm like, what do you mean sell coffee? They're like, yeah, like you can make money instead of just telling people and referring them to her. And I was like, oh, come on, tell me some more. So I posted my story because Dave, I tell everyone all the time, like, I was passionate about this coffee. It made me feel good. I was losing weight. Like, I put a story up there and it went nuts. And it was just on my personal page, and the business just took off. And I was like, wow, this is great. Like, like $1,500 or something. I don't know what I made my first month, but I was like, man. And I was like, so I started doing that. But Dave, as I was doing that, I was always YouTubing, researching like how to make my Facebook profile better, how to make people notice, how to make it so they message me. I was always, so when I would work out, I would listen to that kind of stuff. When I would drive down the road by myself, that's what I listened to. And still to this day, I don't always listen to your interviews every morning or like your new digital training. But when I drive down the road by myself or I'm on a treadmill, that's what I listen to. I don't listen to the radio. I don't listen like, I mean, if my kid's in the car, Taylor Swift or whatever. But if not, like, it's just, I listen to that kind of stuff because it's just, even though I think, oh, I'm experienced, you gain something from everything you listen to. So I started listening to that stuff and I was like, it was just great. But I'm going to tell you with network marketing, the problem is I love it. I'm still involved. Don't anyone like get me kicked out, but I'm still involved. But it's like they don't know how to promote products. And I will be the first to admit that. For 4 years, it's up, down, up, down. New product comes out, it goes up. New product, like they don't, like, even if you have the best product out there, you're not teaching us how to promote that product to a cold audience. We only know a warm audience. I don't care whose training you take. I used to mention a few, but I don't know more because I kind of got a little more popular. And I'm like, I would never throw anybody under the bus. But I took all those coaching classes. I did all those trainings. I did make 6 figures one year. One year I was close. But it just is such an up and down because, it's just, hey, go on Facebook and get in a gardening group, even though you're selling coffee, and make friends. And then like maybe they'll message you or like it's so bizarre to me looking back. I'm like, this doesn't even make sense. Why should I wish 500 people a happy birthday? And I think I said it on one of my things the other day in one of my lives or in my mentor group or whatever. I'm like, the day network marketing went nuts is the day you were only allowed 5,000 followers or 5,000 friends. They were like, oh my gosh, like, what? What do we do now? And I think that's why the follow button appeared at some point, but like, it's just crazy looking back. And in 2022, I was struggling. We were struggling to pay our bills. Again, I was making okay money with network marketing, but it was way spiraled down from the year before because that's how it works. I started to lose a little bit of my passion, kept adding products, like it was just one of those things, company owner changes, like it just was always something. And in November, I was struggling. In November, I was sitting on a live with all these network marketers, and the owner of the company said something. I'm like, I'm gonna be a social influencer. Like, I'm gonna show you guys. I'm gonna make videos, and I'm just gonna make this happen. And then somewhere along the way, I saw Carolyn, and she mentioned a system. I think that's what it was, like a system, And I was like, wonder what this is. And I remember like sitting at church and the preacher was like, if 2022 made you uncomfortable, what are you going to do in 2023 to change it? And I'm like, oh no, he's talking to me, because I couldn't even pay my bills at this point in time because, and if I had to go back to a 9 to 5, like I was really going to be miserable. Like it was, like it was. So I researched the course. I saw like top 500 or whatever. I didn't even know what that meant at that point. I'm like, whatever. And then I saw that guy on Shark Tank and I'm like, oh, I do like him, So I was like, all right. And I started it and I'm like, oh my goodness, they teach me how to make money. Like, this isn't like every other training I've taken. I probably spent $30,000 on training and it was always like, hey, go cold message 12, 15, 20 people and 100 if you want to make some money. Like it wasn't like that. I'm like, oh my gosh. And I give credit to my husband. He always said like, if you could just find that missing link, you would make multiple 6 figures. I'm telling you, there's a missing link. And you guys, your course was the missing link. Like that's truly what it comes down to. Truly.
Yeah, they should call network marketing networking, because it really
Oh,
is.
oh,
It's a great model
love it.
for people who want to do home and hotel meetings and home parties and kind of want to just buy some products and make a little bit extra.
Hmm.
The business model is designed, in my opinion, the kind of network marketing, MLM business model is really designed to share within your warm market,
Yes.
and that's kind of why it was designed. It wasn't really designed, in my opinion, in you know, the stats also prove this, that the majority of people are not making tons of money. Most of the time, those companies are required to provide an actual income disclosure document that shows the average earnings or the earnings of all of the different people, and you can see that the majority of people are making nothing. The large majority are making a couple of hundred, or excuse me, the next group is making a couple of hundred, and then the 1% or even percentage of 1% is making six figures or more.
Hmm.
And that's because, your warm market's only so big,
That's why we
you're,
get new products.
yeah, right.
Like,
The business is built off of selling products to the same people over and over
mhm,
again, getting them on a reoccurring auto ship or subscription. And that's why some of the best products in network marketing are those. You look at Amway, for example, those kind of home consumable goods that
mhm,
people buy each and every month. And so I went on the same path, which was network marketing, networking, showed me how it sparked the entrepreneur fire in me. It
mhm,
was a great stepping stone for me because, I was getting clean around 24, had a really hard time getting a job, and needed something to light a fire under my butt. It was a very low barrier to entry to get started as a quote business owner. Um, Even though I was really kind of, I was in no way, shape, or form a business owner yet. And so I actually came online looking for ways to market beyond my warm market, to generate
yes.
leads online. And that's exactly how I found all of this information 13, 14 years ago. So
Wish
it's
I'd
so
have found
cool.
it then.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. And so, what was the most difficult part for you to get started? I mean, obviously you have the kind of networking and sales womanship, it seems, the communication, but what was hard for you? What did you have to overcome at the beginning?
So I'm gonna be honest. I had no intentions of like working with you. Don't take that the wrong way. Like, I took this course because I'm going to sell my health and wellness
Yeah,
products. I'm going to make videos. Like,
sure.
yes, this is the missing link. And when I took your course, I'm like, oh my gosh, why isn't anybody telling us this? Like, where's Dave been? Like, I could be sitting on my yacht somewhere if I'd have known about this 4 years ago. Literally, like, I could have been, like, I'd be topping any company if I'd. And I'm like, man. So I have to be honest. I took the course. I was like, oh my gosh. I said to my husband, I'm like, give me 1 year. If he tells me to stand on my head, I don't care. Like, I have squirrel brain. I will do whatever this course says for the next year. And let's just see. No more golden shiny objects in front of my face. Just what this course tells me to do. And he was like, okay. Like, of course we couldn't afford the blueprints, but I'm like, just I know, like, just I'm buying them. Like, it just give me 1 year. Like, that was literally what I kept saying. I'm like, just give me 1 year. Like, I am telling you, like, this is it. This is what you've been talking about, that missing link. And I go on, Dave. I get all these network marketers together, and I'm like, guys, oh my gosh. And I am like so excited and I'm like, I found it. Like, we're gonna have the best team, and this is what we're gonna do. And I was like jumping up and down, and they all were like deer in a headlights. And I was like, ooh, oh, like, guys, like, what, like, do you see this opportunity? And they were just like, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, how, like, it was like a, oh, moment. Like, I was so excited and no one was like getting the excitement with me. Like, I thought I just opened up the world of network marketing, and they're so stuck in their ways that nobody went with me. Like, no one jumped on, like, a little bit here and there. Or they'll be like, when I still have a month where I'm like top of the chart, they're like, how are you doing it? I'm like, what I told you I was doing 8 months ago, that like, you are aware of this, right? Like, I tried to get you guys to jump on board, and it's just wild to me. So when that happened, I'm like, screw it. I'm like, I'm gonna do this. Like, this course needs to get out there. Like, people need to know I'm doing both. That's it. And that was, and I never looked back. I was like, let's go, moms. Let's see if we can make 6 figures in 1 year being a stay-at-home mom. Like, I'm trying whatever it takes, all the side hustles. And that's where it started. Like, literally, my first video was like, all right, moms, I'm gonna see if I can make 6 figures, or as a stay-at-home mom. And someone was on my live the other day, and they're like, you literally said on one of your lives you will make $200,000 in 1 year. Watch me. Like, last time I interviewed with you, she was like, you said it. And it's just wild. Like, I was like, okay, and I honestly took the course for network marketing. I honestly become an affiliate with you for network marketing because I thought I was going to change my team and change the world of network marketing. And I just was like, okay, I'm going to do this by myself then. If no one wants to go with me, like, I have a gut feeling that this is where I need to be. And that's what I did. Like, I just went. Like,
Well, it's great. I mean, when you're wanting to learn new skills, and I can see that was your intention, was to kind of take this information back to your network marketing team so they could also understand how to generate leads from a cold market, using the internet, building their own digital databases, which are essentially our email autoresponders. I mean, using video was one of the huge breakthroughs for me, was just very simply using video to do the selling and telling and explaining for me, instead of having to do never ending 3-way calls and 2-on-1s with people where I'd meet them at a coffee shop and, say, let's go get coffee. But then I busted out the flip chart and started, like, I wanted to generate leads on the internet, and I wanted to have videos do a perfect pitch every time for me, instead of, having to do it myself. And I get that was your intention. And, it's interesting that oftentimes the people who know you best are the most resistant and listen the least. And you go out there into the cold market. There's 8 billion people out in the world. About a little over half of them, I believe, have internet service, and people are all ears, they're all ears. And it's fascinating. And here you are using those digital marketing skills that you learned here to now diversify your income streams. And certainly you have your network marketing business. Certainly you became an affiliate for Legendary, and you've done a wonderful job at that. You've also made significant 5-figure income as an affiliate of other software tools, etc. And so you're really diversified. I mean, it'd be very difficult for you to turn the traffic streams and income streams off. It'd be a job for you at this point to have to go around and deactivate everything. And that's really the point in which, we want everybody to get to, is that the traffic and the income streams, your lead flow, which is the lifeblood of your business, is so strong. It'd be a task, a real job, to turn it all off. We have to give a disclaimer that, the average person gets little to no results who starts. I mean, think about all the people who didn't listen. And of course, we know that most people buy things and take little to no action. There's also lots of limiting beliefs, mindset, work ethic that is required to be successful at this or anything. You are just a great inspiration and a wonderful example of what's possible. So did you have any limiting beliefs? I mean, it sounds like you were just, balls to the wall. Was it difficult for you to get on video? I mean, what was it like when you started to go and post online? And what have you learned about creating marketing content over the past year?
So I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. Limiting beliefs, I still have those. I'm like, what do you mean I didn't like have a blah 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 day? Those happen to me all the time. Like my week, it wasn't as good. Like those still happen to me. Like why are that happens to me all the time. But I will tell you. Gosh, I lost my train of thought.
Well, you were talking about limiting
Yeah.
beliefs.
So when I started, I was like, I'm not like, no one wants to hear this. That's fine. I started and I went with Run on Magic Mom. I never used my name. I've never used my name. My husband is actually an elected official in our state. So that's one big reason I never use my name. I don't even usually say where I'm from. For that reason, because like guys, I didn't get popular because of him. And I didn't use my name because of that. Like, and I didn't want anybody's opinion. I have enough crap being said. Like, oh, now his wife's out there scamming people. You know what I mean? So I never use my name still to this day. Like my name is not out there. But I will tell you that helps. And what else helps is that I have probably 400,000 followers total on all the social media accounts. And like still to this day, I may have two people that actually found me like on social media. And sometimes I block them. Like, and I tell when I get on live or when I have a mentor group just to like support them, support them through. I tell them all the time, I'm like, listen, guys, I started on January 25th. I think I made $100 by March 10th. I'm like, if I would have told everybody what I was doing and everyone would have been like, get a 9 to 5. I can't believe you fell for another scam, blah, 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 blah. And it would have just smushed me to the point where I'd have been like, they're right. Like, what am I doing? Like this doesn't even make sense. $100, like we can't even pay our bills, and that's a big reason I didn't use my name. Still to this day, I'm not 100% sure my parents know what I do for a living. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. But it's just funny to me. Like, I just, and if you do have limiting beliefs, do what I did. Don't put it out there for people in your neighborhood to see or people that to see. And the other thing I ran into, and you will know this, once they do see you having success, now they're like, hey, want to go to lunch? Hey, can you like buy the course and do what I did? Like, there's nothing I can like no. You know what I mean? Like, if I have free time while my kids at school, like I gotta be working or I gotta be making videos or you know what I mean? Like, that's another reason that like once you start having success, like, hey, well, did you take the course? Well,
Right.
like there's nothing I can do for you, I mean, not
Yeah.
that I could, but like, like
Right. Why? I
I
mean,
started at zero, like so should
yeah.
you. You
Yeah,
know?
it's fascinating. I've had that experience too. People are interesting. So and they'll never change and they'll
No,
always be that. And I love your attitude and advice about, it just boils down to not explaining yourself to anyone.
correct.
You don't owe anybody an explanation. Let me say that again loud and clear for everybody. You don't owe anybody an explanation for what you do with your life, how you earn your money. The only person you might have to explain to is if you choose to, sell drugs or traffic humans, you'll explain yourself to a judge. That's not a good choice. You don't owe anybody an explanation. You don't owe anybody an explanation. You don't owe anybody an explanation. I hope everybody heard that loud and clear. You don't. Not your friends, not your family, not anybody. Your spouse, your God. Talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe your kids, but maybe not. Maybe your spouse, right? I mean, honestly, like maybe your spouse, maybe not. I mean, each person has to decide for themselves. We are adults here, right? We are adults, and oftentimes there are a lot of people who do not follow through with things that are in their best interest because their spouse doesn't believe. Well, you know what, my friends? I'm sorry to say, but that's not an excuse. if you're doing something that you want to do that's in your best interest as an individual, and it's not hurting anybody, and you're still meeting needs, taking care of responsibilities, who do you really owe an explanation to? Nobody. Because let me tell you something, and this is true 100% of the time. All spouses are skeptical of anything that's outside of the box at first, not because they don't believe in you, but because they love you and are afraid for you. So that comes off as non-supportive. And people say, how do I get my spouse on board? Show them that bank account when that baby starts growing a little bit. And I'm going to tell you something, they're going to be all in. I've seen some hubbies, some husbands, boy, you would not believe. I mean, you come to our mastermind, my friend, and you see some of these husbands, they're like, honey, need me to hold the camera? You know, need me to hold the camera? I mean, they're a walking talking tripod. They're a walking talking tripod. They're made men. They're made men. And what if some of these ladies or some of these gentlemen would have allowed that fear, because we can project our fear onto each other. What we need to do with our spouses and with our whoever is let them know, here's what I'm doing. Here's what I need from you. And since I'm doing this, can you let me know what I need to do for you to make you feel loved and supported through this process? Because I can understand you may have some feelings about it. No, I don't need anything. Or, hey, yeah, I need some reassurance thanks to this conversation. That's the huge key, is to clear communication. Here's what I'm doing. Here's what I'm doing with my life. Here's what I'm doing with my time. I'm an individual. How can I also make you feel loved and supported throughout this process, so you know that I'm not going anywhere, so you know that you're still going to get your needs met, so you still know that I'm going to take care of all the responsibilities that I always take care of. And as the entrepreneur, my friends, you have to make sure that you follow through with that, because we can lose the trust and respect of our partners if we don't follow through with our end of the bargain. Anyways, I'm ranting. What's coming up for you, Rachelle?
Now, Dave, there's also another side of this that I try to make people understand. Like, if your spouse walks out tomorrow, are you going to be okay? If your spouse falls and breaks his leg tomorrow, are you going to be okay? Are you going to be able to stay in that house where your kid's been raised? Are you going to be able to keep your kids in normalcy? Or are you going to have to, are you going to be okay? Like, that's literally something that people need to understand. Are you going to be okay? Because the world's crazy right now. You never know. Like, I hate to say it. I know, situations, but you don't know. You don't know. I mean, it could just be them breaking their hip and not being able to work for the next 6 months. Like, are you going to be okay? Are you going to have to move in the apartment down the road? Like, in all honesty, those are the hardcore things you need to think about, not just too bad. Something happens to you tomorrow. We can't live off me being a stay-at-home mom. Like, what do we do then? Or we can't live off my 20,000 I'm bringing home. So that is something that I tell women to think about all the time. Like, guys, are you going to be able to stay in that house with your kid? Are you going to be able to still have the same normalcy as your kid goes through a hard time? Like, are you going to be okay? And that's something you need to consider. If not, you need a side hustle. Figure it out.
And you know what? Most of us are one medical emergency away from complete financial ruin.
Mm-hmm.
One medical emergency, not 5, not you get a chance, not pass go, not, oh, this one's on the house.
Mm-hmm.
You're one broken bone, one heart attack, one whatever, random, got to get this thing removed, got to get that done. Oh my God, what a tragedy. The world will eat you up and spit you out and not apologize about it. They will turn you away.
Nobody
You walk
cares.
into that doctor's office and their first question is, what's your insurance? How would you like to pay for today's visit?
Mm-hmm.
And if you can't pay, you don't get served. Yeah, you know what? Most emergency rooms will take anybody to come in and get an emergency service, but I know as well as anybody, because my father was just in the hospital last year, 88 days. He had was doing fine. Needed a new aortic valve and a triple bypass at 68. 88 days in the hospital. Had some complications. The bill, if I remember correctly, was nearly $2 million. Now, he happens to be a veteran. Thank God. Thank God. Because otherwise, he would have got that bill.
Crazy.
It is crazy. And you could have a dadgum mole that's melanoma on your body that you need to get taken off immediately. And if you can't afford to get that done, you're talking about a medical emergency. Now, all of a sudden, you need $10,000. Where are you going to get it from? Right? So I'm glad you brought that up, because you're right. Our spouse's health is not a guarantee that they're going to be able to get up and do their job and continue to bring home the bacon to enable us to have the lifestyle that we're having and living on an ongoing basis. God, this is really a mindset shift today, and I think there's so many things to consider for those of you who are sitting kind of on the fence and not doing anything. It really is an urgent situation, not only for your own personal living situation to ensure that you can, have a place to live and food and medical and so forth, but also I feel like we're getting older, all of us. The clock don't stop, as my father always said. And if you don't begin to build your confidence and your self-esteem now, it only gets worse as you get older. What has this done for your confidence and your self-esteem?
Oh my goodness. I always used to think like I needed all these people, I needed this, but now that you have a mindset where like build my business, this is priority, like my mindset and I don't think my mindset's spot on. Like I've listened to Carolyn's thing a couple times, like her mind, I'm like, oh man, I need to get in that, like that's perfect. But I think I've learned through the process of like you just got to make a decision. Like, do you want to go to lunch tomorrow with your friends, or do you keep your circle small, get your support people that support you, and just do the things? And then in a year from now, when I am a 7-figure earner, like, well, okay, now we can go to lunch. Like that has been a lot of the things. And I don't think people understand that. And you are going to run into hard times where your friends are mad, or what do you mean? Like, where you have to say no. But I also think in a year from now, if I not only give that 80%, now I give 100 this year, like next year, I may be able to batch videos. I may not have to go live 4 to 5 days a week if I don't want to. Like I may be able to do things, and I'm not, but now I'm like, okay, like you still need to figure this out. Like you will, put your mind 100% for one more year, like, and then next year, like, okay, cool. You want to go buy vegetables every day at the market? Like, whatever. But I do think that's a hard thing when it comes to mindset, because there's always the temptation to like go to lunch, go have a drink, go, that's, or, and I do think you're going to lose friends through the process. You're going to lose people. You're not going to answer every text message anymore because you're focused. Like you're focused on your family and you're focused on your business and what's best for your family and your business. And that's that's been a process for me. Like it's been, you know what I mean? But like that's honestly what I had to do. Like, you have to adjust. And I still, like, I still got to make that adjustment for the next, until I'm okay. Like, and I know I'm okay and I can do whatever I want whenever I want, but it's just an adjustment. And I do think people struggle with you having success.
Yeah.
I think that's another issue. Like, I'm running into it,
Yeah, for sure. Your success makes people uncomfortable, and
Mhm.
it makes people feel different around you. And it stretches, it challenges them. They also tend. It's very difficult for somebody to not be jealous and to actually genuinely feel happy for somebody.
Mhm.
And that's because we as humans all personalize everything. We're very self-absorbed. And, one of the most important characteristics that we all need to work on as entrepreneurs is being happy and excited for other people and genuinely wanting them to succeed. Also being inspired and challenged by their success, not threatened and jealous by their success, because that is the default human feeling when somebody is doing better or has something better than you do. It is the default feeling to feel like that is normal. That is what everybody feels somewhere inside of them when somebody has something that they don't. And go back to looking at a child. I have a 3-year-old. He only wants oftentimes what his sister has. If anybody has, and I'm talking about human nature. And what we do is we learn strategies and techniques to cover that up and be polite and share, etc. But deep down inside, we don't want to share, and we do want it all for ourselves, and we do want to have the best and be the best. And so it is a mindset transition. We have to build the mindset to be happy, to be inspired, to be challenged. And how do we do that? Well, when we see somebody who has something that we don't or that we want, we ask, how do I get that? And then be willing to take the necessary steps. And that action begins to change our mindset. It's really all about what we're willing to do. Now, it's also about honesty. If they have something and they did something to get it, but we're not willing to do that work, say, I'm just not willing to work that hard. And that's honest. That's honest, right? What we normally do is people will make an excuse or a justification and to try to make themselves feel better for not wanting to do that work or being willing to do that work. And so honesty is everything. Honesty with yourself. Somebody has something, they worked harder than I did in owning that. I love what you said here all throughout the show. Caroline was talking about 100%, 100%, 100%. You said, I did 80 last year. Now, instead of being like, well, she doesn't have this, and this going on and da-da-da-da, you said, look, I can't imagine what my business is going to be like this year when I put in 100%. I'm going to take things to the next level. That is a great modeling for everybody here today on the show to understand what a reaction, a really healthy, powerful reaction is to somebody who has something that you don't. And I love that you said, look, I have to say no to people. I have to limit my time with friends who don't get what I'm doing. I have to say no to lunch. I have to cut down. I have to either lie or be honest to them, whatever. It doesn't matter. Because again, we have to go back to not explaining ourselves. No is a complete sentence. Can you make it to go out to lunch with us and the girls today? No, unfortunately, I can't. When's the next time you girls are going out? And I'll see if I'm free. You say no enough times, they'll stop inviting you.
Well, I think that's what's happened.
Yeah. You don't have to keep, and then they'll come and they'll say, you haven't been hanging out. Yeah, I've been growing in a different direction. I've been going in a different direction with my life. I still love you and have friends, but and we're still friends. I'm just busy doing other things with my life right now. Is that okay with you? And if it's not, let your friend reveal themselves. And then make a educated decision whether that's somebody that you want in your circle anymore. Is it okay if I grow in this direction? Are you threatened? Are you jealous? Are you happy for me? Because a real friend will support you to grow and go in any direction that's best for you, and will love you from afar, will love you nearby, will love you however and whoever you grow into. That's what a true friend will do. You won't need to explain yourself to them. You won't need to convince them. And so test your friends, test people in your life. Say no. See what they say. One of the big things for me, Rachelle, is like the little shamey comments and the critical in kind of the shaming in the criticizing, in the passive aggressiveness. That is one thing that I have zero tolerance with people in my close circle. I really consider if somebody's got my cell phone number and they got access to me and they can call me and we hang out, that's a privilege. That's a privilege. I value my time. So I can't just have anybody up in my ear or up on my phone when I go to look at it with some passive aggressive, critical, shamey messages. Oh no.
Mhm.
I've worked very hard to
I've had
limit
that.
that
I've
from
had that in the
you know.
last year, trust me. Like
Yeah, I bet you have.
questioning friendships and, but but then you're like, well, how are you on another vacation? Well,
Must be nice. They say must be nice.
right.
It
Like,
is
well,
nice. It is nice. Now don't talk to me like that. Don't say that
yeah.
to me. I don't like
Yeah.
when people, we teach our kids when they're very young to say, I don't like when people talk to me like that. They say that. 7-year-old and 3-year-old. I don't like when
Okay.
you do that. That's a complete sense. I don't like when people talk to me like that. That didn't make me feel good. And so we have to communicate with people. And, a lot of times when you'll challenge somebody and speak what, let them know, see, a boundary is not like where you're drawing a line or being mean. It's just letting people know who you are. That's all boundaries are. It's just educating them on who you are and what you like and don't like. I don't like when people talk to me like that. I don't have, you don't, and see, it's a you don't even have to say, I don't like when you don't, I don't like when people, see, this is not personal. I don't like when people, anybody talks to me like that, is passive aggressive towards me like that, tries to find the differences in us instead of the similarities. That's one of the things that I actually said in a group that I was on the other day. I do a couple of things throughout the week and month and year for my recovery. One of it is a weekly meeting on Zoom with some of my friends, and we travel and so forth. And so, anyways, I just reminded the group the other day to, even though some of us are at different places in our life and work and financial situation and age and everything, let's remember to focus on the similarities instead of the differences. Because we can always separate ourselves based off of our differences. And that's where a lot of those comments, they say, well, I'm not here yet, or I can't relate to that. Okay. What can you relate to? That's how you're going to grow. That's how we're going to connect more. If we're focused on the similarities, not the differences. So there's ways that we can talk to people to help them, to retrain them how to treat us. And a lot of us need to do that, right? Some
Mhm.
of us need to, you may need to do a spring cleaning, Rachelle, where, and it sounds like you're doing a bit of that, right?
I just don't answer.
And that's okay too.
Like,
That's okay too.
like I'm busy. Like my focus isn't on drama and crap and and I'm gonna be honest, the network marketing community gets caught up in a lot of that. And
Oh, I
I
know.
can't, like love them all to death. I like absolutely, but I can't my focus can't be on so when you're an affiliate marketer, it's amazing because it's just me. If I don't work, guess what? You don't get paid. If you sleep in, guess what? Like your video didn't get put up,
Well, here's the difference between doing like digital marketing and affiliate marketing and doing network marketing. I'm going to tie this into the rich dad, poor dad. I talked about this the other day. And the thing that takes you from employee or, and self-employed or on the kind of the side that you want to try to get away from, then you go over here to the business owner and the investor. And the thing that separates the self-employed person from the business owner, it's called the cash flow quadrant. Let me pull it up here real quick and just pull up an image so everybody can see what I'm talking about here. Let me see if I can find. All right. Let's see here. All right. So this is good enough. So the real difference, can you see that? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we start out, all of us as employees, and then sometimes we go to the self-employed box down there where we're still trading time for money, but maybe we own the job, right? We started our own massage business, but if we don't show up to do the massage, we don't get paid. We want to try to get over to that right-hand side of the cash flow quadrant, which is the business owner where you own a system, or an investor where you own investments. The difference between self-employed and business owner is self-employed, you own your job, and if you don't do the work, you don't get paid. A business owner leverages two things, either both or one or the other: people and systems, meaning like software, systems, etc. In network marketing, you're really leveraging people because you're relying on your quote downline to do the work. And if they don't work, you don't get paid. The interesting and attractive thing to me about digital marketing and affiliate marketing is that I'm not so much leveraging people, I'm leveraging systems. Now, what are those systems? Video on social media. I'm leveraging, so people are somewhat participating by sharing and commenting. I'm leveraging funnels. I'm leveraging an email autoresponder. So I'm leveraging all these systems and software that do work when I'm not working. My video, that video that you had that was going crazy when you first started, that was adding 20,000 followers a day, that was something you could have never done on your own. And it was also something that even a huge downline couldn't have done for you because that software was working. So that system, that social media was on Facebook, was just putting that video in front of people so fast that just imagine how many people had to be watching that video and seeing that video in order for 20,000 people to be liking your page a day. It's insane. So when we go, and this is a great business lesson, this is something they should be teaching in all business universities, is that if you're thinking about starting a business, you need to ask yourself, is this business going to rely on people, on systems, or on both? Another example of a business that relies on people is, now it gives you leverage. You still have leverage when you rely on people, but it's much more difficult. Construction. And I grew up listening to my dad and many other construction owners say, can't find any good help. I'm talking about for years. It was always the same thing. Can't find any good help. Well, that's a business that really relies on people, not so much systems. The thing that's attractive about digital marketing is that it relies on systems and you get your leverage from systems. How big's your email list, Rachelle?
By about 45,000. And I wish it was bigger.
I want everybody to understand this, that anytime she wants, she can take an email and blast it out to 45,000 people who can read that message and get that all from you typing in the push of a button. Mm-hmm. That's leverage. And that email list is one of your most valuable assets that you have inside of your business. Mm-hmm. as we bring this in for a landing, what else do people need to know about you and your journey? And what advice would you give them, or what would you like them to know about what it's taken you to get to where you're at?
A piece of advice I'm going to give to you guys is I have a little mentor group. So anyone that signs up for the $7 course, they get to come in there, because I remember when I started and I felt like I had a little bit of knowledge. I was like, there was still a little like questionable stuff. You didn't know if it was a scam or like, is this really for real? So I just bring them in, like, go live, just nurture them. You know what I mean? If they have questions, they post it, I answer. But one thing that I can't express enough to them, and this is something that, I mean, it's just, guys, if making money online, if this course didn't like knock your socks off like it did me, then this probably isn't what you should be promoting. Like, go find something that will get you out of bed every day, will get you excited, you will want to go in front of people and tell them about. That's your niche. It's not, well, Rachelle did this. Okay, yeah. But like, I also have a passion where I could be like, oh my, like, you hear me talk about the course. You hear me talk about, why I went from nothing to finding the missing link. So that is one thing that I can't express to everyone enough. Like, you don't have to do just this. Go online, start looking at TikTok. If you love to work out every morning, guess what? There's people making tons of money from working out. Guess what? If you love to organize, I ordered something from this chick on TikTok, like, Amazon links. It's 3 months back ordered. Guys, she's killing it with what she loves to do. So that's the biggest thing I can express. Don't think that like I just have to do the make money online niche. No. Why? If it doesn't get you excited and you don't think you're going to get out of bed every day and be able to be like, oh my gosh, then find what does. That is the biggest thing. And I'm going to be 100% honest, love the network marketing company, love their products. I think they're the most amazing products. But in 2022, I kind of started like not having that passion as much. It was more like banging my head off a wall to send messages. I lost the passion, and then this come along, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I can get the passion back for everything now. This is great. This is the missing link. But like, stop just doing something because you see other people successful. If you like to ride horses, go on TikTok, because I'm sure there's someone selling a digital course about riding horses, and they're probably making a ton of money. If you're doing it correctly and you're passionate and people can see that, when I have a bad week, my numbers go down. I know it, even though I try to fake it. Like, I had a bad week, I mean, it's just being honest. Like, if you're not excited and you can't express that to your audience, you're probably not in the right niche. Like, end of conversation. People see right through you. I don't care what anyone says. Like, you can pretend till you're blue in the face, and like Carolyn said again, if you have to give 100% to be at her success level, then you're not going to give 100% if you're just like, I'm just doing this because like Rachelle's had success, and like it doesn't make sense. Like, you have to find something that gets your soul burning and your fire running. Like, I mean, or you're not going to do it. You're not going to complete the task. You're not going to give it 80%, let alone 100. Like, you're just not going to do it. And I see that happen all the time. Well, I'm like, okay, do you even like this? Well, I like this better. I'm like, why are you talking about that? It's just, I see it in my mentor group all the time. Stop doing what I'm doing because you think that's the only way to make money. You're wrong. Like, go get something that gets your fire burning. Like, because if not, you're gonna fail. Like, it may sound good for 3 months, but you're just not gonna do it. I'm sorry. I just don't think it's work. And if you're not excited about getting up and doing it, then you're probably not going to be successful. So that's my advice. Stop watching and thinking this is the only way to make money. It's not. Like, it's not. You need to figure out, cooking. Like, I did a big thing in my mentor group the other day. This woman loves to cook for a family of 6. I'm like, that's like a reality show. Like, she's like, I'm like, let's go. Like, let me help you. And she was like, oh my gosh, like, you're right. I love doing, and once I talked her through it, she was like, yeah, like, let's go find Amazon products and let's set up the emails. And I was like, exactly. You're all excited now when you were trying to beat your head off to figure out how you were going to do the make money online niche. And she was like, oh my gosh, so that's my biggest advice to anybody. You just don't be doing stuff because you think like you see me doing it, or you see Carolyn or Chelsea or Dave, or like, go find what's gonna get you excited. Listen, you have to get up every day and do this, or you know what happens. So that's my advice.
Just such a powerful, on point place to end. There is a huge universe of opportunity out here, and why box yourself in? Learn these skills. The skills are transferable. They're transferable to nearly any niche, and so many niches that you didn't even think of that are possible and that are out there. You named a couple to turn your story, even your struggles, into strengths, your mess into a message, your wisdom into wealth. It's we are in this day and age now to where people are watching, spending all their time on social media, and wanting to do business, learn from, and take recommendations from regular people. And so no matter what your interest or passion is, there is a group of people out there that has that same interest and passion, and the internet connects us all and gives us an opportunity. And the algorithms are just brilliant. They just will help you to find the people that you want. And, the beautiful thing is once you start getting in front of them, there's a possibility they've already been primed up and they're ready to buy. They're ready to follow. You don't even have to go in and introduce yourself. You just start creating and marketing and delivering that edutainment from day one. And it's just like you sit down at the table enjoying the conversation. You don't even have to tiptoe your way in. And it's really a powerful thing that is once you get it going, and I know you can relate to this, Rachelle. It just has the possibility to take off way faster, as it did for you, where you were certainly shooting to the moon there in the beginning when you mentioned that your account was adding 20,000 followers per day. One video. It's not, Russell Brunson over there at ClickFunnels has a saying that you're only one funnel away. My friend, you're only one video away.
I say that all the time.
You're only one video away nowadays. That's not a promise or guarantee of success. It's just a look into the realistic opportunity that's out there. Rachelle, we're just getting started. I can't wait to see you here very shortly at the mastermind. It's gonna be so much fun. You're going to get to also meet so many people that you've learned from and looked up to, and a lot of people who look up to you, and I can't wait. So thank you today for yet another.
Thank you. Did he go away?
Sorry.
I was like,
yeah, no, it was just me. My page just shut down. Thank you for an amazing hour and 10 minutes. It's been a pleasure. Stay legendary, my friend, and we'll talk to you soon. Okay.
Thank you. Bye.
See ya. All right, my friends, you can find Rachelle on Facebook at Run on Magic Mom. Remember, make sure it's the right page. Make sure it's her actual page. Okay. You can also find her over on Instagram at Run on Magic Mom with an underscore in between run underscore on underscore magic underscore mom. Okay. All right, my friends, what a powerful episode. A lot of motivation, a lot of inspiration, a lot of value today. Definitely worth a rewatch and a re-listen. Remember, we put all of these episodes up on all the major podcast platforms, so you can type in Wake Up Legendary and listen to the audio, or re-listen to them right here on Facebook. Every single episode, over 900 episodes at this point, of real people, real results, real conversations. Not a single episode, not a single question is scripted or prepared for. Everything you're watching, hearing, learning is right on the spot, right as it comes up for both me and the guest. Thank you all for the amazing support in the comments. Adelita, it's so fine. You were the one who said about the Caroline comment at the beginning. I'm so glad that you stayed throughout the episode. I'm so glad that you enjoyed it. It's no need to say you're sorry. God bless you. Be more careful out there. Let's all have a wonderful weekend. Remember, if you want to get started at any point throughout, now, before, during, or after the show, you can go to legendarymarketer.com/enroll, ENROLL, enroll, legendarymarketer.com/enroll, and you can get started with our challenge. You can get started with our blueprints. You can buy a ticket to our mastermind. Okay. Do that now. Start or start over if this information speaks to you. And last but not least, if you want to get a little text message reminder when we go live every morning, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern time, text WUL to 813-296-8553. Again, type in WUL where you would normally put your text, WUL, and text that to the number 813-296-8553. My friends, get out of here. Have a fantastic Friday. We'll see you back here on Monday for another episode. Get out of here. Peace.